Hello everyone, welcome to the tutorial. As I say in the overview, I will explain the uh, little bit the interface and small introduction to Blender. So as you see here, where we have this grid, this is the 3D viewport where we will do everything here, adding objects, adding cubes, adding meshes, surfaces, curves, and etc. So we have at the left side we have the toolbar. So we have the here selection tool. So for example, if we have a cube here and we have a plane and we have, for example, a sphere. So and I want to select one of these objects. So I need the select tool. So we have different type of selection. So we have select box, circle select, and lasso selection. So if I want to select, just click on this, or if you want to select all, just drag the left mouse button and select. You will have this box here to select all these objects in the 3D viewport. So now I will move to this tool. This tool, we call it the cursor. So if we click on it, you should replace or change the position of this 3D cursor. We call it 3D cursor. So if you click with the left mouse button in any space you want, it will change the position of the 3D cursor. So for example, if you change the position of the 3D cursor and you want to add a new object in the scene, for example, I will add a cylinder, the new object will be added to this new position of the 3D cursor. So to reposition the 3D cursor to the original place, just click Shift C to make it in the word origin. So the three next tools, which is move tool, rotate tool, and scale. So these tools is used for example, to move objects. For example, the move tool, you can move it in the x-axis. So as you know, in the 3D space, we have three axes. We have the x-axis and the y-axis and the z-axis. So for that, we call it 3D dimension. So the next tool is the rotation. You can rotate your object like this. You can rotate it freely by clicking in the middle of the rotation tool and choose one of these axes to rotate your object. For example, I need to rotate it in the x-axis and rotate it in the y-axis, or rotate it in the z-axis. So now we move to the scale tool. So I can click in the middle and scale the whole object. So, or scale it in specific axis like z-axis, for example, y-axis, for example, and red axis. So, and the other tools, it's just simple, just play around with it. This is the annotate tool and the measure tool, and add primitive shapes directly to the 3D viewport. And we have here, we call it the gizmo. For example, if you want to go to the front orthographic view, just click on X. And if you want to move your 3D viewport, just click in the middle and move your 3D viewport. Now we have, for example, if I want to go to the side view, I click on X. And if I want to go to the top view, I will click to Z. But when you will be some a little bit advanced in Blender, you need to use shortcuts. So you didn't need to use this buttons. So you need to use shortcuts in the keyboard. So to use these shortcuts, or if you need to know the shortcuts of the gizmos, so you need to have a numpad in your keyboard. So if I want to go to the top view, I need to click 7 in the numpad, or if I want to go to this front view, I need to click 1. And if I want to go to the side view, I need to click 3. For example, now I'm in the perspective view. If I want to change it to orthographic, just click 5, or you have this button here. You can click on it, change your view from orthographic to perspective. So, and here in the bottom, we have different option. Here we can change our view. For example, I can change it to the shader editor, or return to the 3D viewport. Here we have different modes of mesh. We have object mode and edit mode. So in our tutorial, we will use these two modes a lot. So we have here view. You can check all these options, and we have these selections. So you can select all, go to select and select all, and you can use a shortcut. You can use a shortcut to select all in the viewport. And here we have the same as Shift A. So add object to your 3D viewport. And here we have the object. So everything related to your object in the scene, you can select the object and go to object and make one of these options. For example, transform, select origin, and so on. Here we have the transformation orientation. For example, here we transform our object in the normals way, but in our courses we will use the global a lot and the normal in specific cases. So here we have the transform pivot point. So if I want to rotate this in the origin, for example, as mentioned here, we rotate this object in the median point. If I want to rotate, for example, this whole object in the individual origin, I need to select the individual origin and scale or rotate this object in the individual origin. Here we have the snap tools. So if I want to, for example, to snap this object to this object, I need to enable this option and choose one of this. You can experiment with them. For example, we select face and snap this to the face like this. And finally, we have proportional editing. For example, if I want to move all these vertices, for example, all these vertices related to this vertex, I need to enable the proportional editing, for example, like this. And if I want to change the radius of this circle, just click in the scroll mouse button like this to move all these vertices in the same time, like this. Now we move to the different type of shading. We have wireframe shading like this. You will see the wireframe of your object. And we have the solid mode, and we have the viewport shading, where we will see our shaders in Eevee, and we have the rendering shading mode. In this case, if you use Eevee, you will see the shading in Eevee, and if you use cycles, you will see cycles rendering like this. So this is everything in the introduction. I hope you like it. See you in the next step. Salam.